Ethical Awards that were launched last week. I guess last week won't have any context if you're doing this on replay, but let's say the end of July. So, yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about the Ethical Awards, why we're doing them. Also, an opportunity to meet one of the sponsors as well. So, thank you, Stephen, for joining me today.
Pleasure, Paul.
Before I waffle on, do you want to just let people know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. My name's Stephen Mather. I'm a solicitor. I help small and medium-sized businesses with all of their legal issues, and I was delighted to be the headline sponsor for the Ethical Awards.
You are. Thank you very much for that. So, if you saw any of our attempts to live stream earlier today, then apologies for that. There seemed to be a little bit of a hiccup with the software, which we've now resolved. We know what the problem is going forward. So, yeah, the idea of the Ethical Awards was really to provide a level playing field for any business, whoever they are, to enter the award, enter any category or up to 3 categories that you choose, and be judged in a very unbiased and fair way. And by that I mean that the judges will not see who you, it'll be a blind entry effectively. That the judges won't see who you are, who your business is. They'll just be looking at the questions, the answers, and purely judging it on that basis. And also, it gives us the opportunity. Which I haven't come across any business awards that do this yet. And I know certainly in my experience, it wasn't available to me when I entered some a few years back. Is to actually get some feedback. Because there's nothing worse than not becoming a finalist or not winning the award and not knowing what didn't work in your application. Sure. So what we're intending to do is provide people, if they want it, with some feedback. So hopefully you can recamp for next year and adjust your entry that way. So Stephen, do you want to say a little bit?
I was shortlisted for an award recently, and I did get some feedback as to why I didn't win the award. It's because I didn't buy a table.
Not that you were ginger, nothing to do with that.
No, nothing to do with that. It was the fact that I didn't buy a table, and therefore I couldn't possibly win the award. That's actually what they said. If you don't buy a table, you were not eligible for winning the award. I said, hey, look, I don't mind attending by. So this was in the middle of not in the middle of the pandemic, but kind of as things had coming out of the pandemic, and I was actually still a little bit personally uncomfortable in going into a room of 300 or 400 people, and because of it. So I said, hey, look, I'm not comfortable with that. Can I do it by Zoom? And they said, look, if you don't attend the event and buy a table, then you can't win the award.
Yeah, and I sort of understand why these organisations do that, because they're commercial organisations. They've got to make some money. The award ceremony I attended, I can't remember, it was 70 quid or something like that. Was a good event. Hats off, it was a great event. But like I say, what we're trying to do, there is a ceremony, but it's virtual. So any entrant will get free access to that. Any additional people would have to pay to come along to that. But the idea is that really we're just like the Oscars, if the actor wins or the film wins, if they can't make it, they just put it on video, they still get the award. So there's no criteria like that. And again, the way that we're to be open about the way that we're making some money, this isn't really a massive profit making scheme, is to charge people a flat entry fee. So it's just to allow us to fund the admin of going through the awards and putting them in front of the judges, etc., etc. So it's a flat fee of £25 per category, and you're limited to 3 categories. If the category doesn't go ahead, it's worth saying. Again, I've been to award ceremonies where there's been one person in the category and they win. Little bit silly, needs to be a bit of a competition. So basically, unless there's a minimum of 3 in each category, then that category won't go ahead, and you will get your £25 refunded, or invited to go across to another category if that's appropriate, which I think is a fair way of doing it.
Yeah, and I think, and hopefully, Paul, you don't mind me discussing this. When you were talking about the awards, and I learned about the £25 fee, and my initial gut feeling was, hang on a minute, we're saying to people, you're not buying an award here. Yeah. And then we're asking them for a £25 fee. But having discussed it with you and thought about it a bit more, look, you're not anyone that is entering into this into one of these awards. That £25 doesn't buy you the award, which is different to some awards that, and you were talking on yesterday's live stream with Kevin, that there's some awards where it's pretty well known that if you get one of those emails and you buy one of those shiny awards and put it and buy an advert in their magazine, that surprise, surprise, you win. And that is exactly the kind of the opposite of what we're trying to achieve here with the ethical awards. Is going, well, yeah, look, you got to pay a £25 fee because there are some costs involved in running and putting it all on and doing X, Y, and Z. But that doesn't buy you the award. You don't get any favour at all with us as judges for making decisions just because you paid some money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly that. I did a similar thing. I kept getting these emails through saying you've been nominated, you've been nominated, you've been nominated. I thought, okay, I'll go through the process. I'll see how it works, And it got to one of the questions was, if you were to win an award, what would that award be? So I said, oh, I'd love to be the business community of the year. Thank you very much. So that's funny enough. A month goes by, and huzzah! I won the award. Please send your £349 for your trophy, your certificate, your blah blah blah. And I just thought that I'm not going to start calling myself award winning because I don't feel that I won it. I feel that if I wanted the trophy, I'd paid for it. So we were just trying to
don't feel comfortable about it. And I know people, and I've spoken to people, I've put posts on LinkedIn about this kind of thing prior to you launching these ethical awards. But there are some people that are kind of in the boat of going, well, actually having an award in there, it's good as part of the marketing. It is just marketing gloss, as it were. But for me, and so being both a man of faith and someone whose livelihood is dependent upon integrity, believe it or not, as a solicitor, I do and have integrity. It's such an important thing that I just would not be able to put and claim I was an award winner where I knew I hadn't actually won an award. And it's a different thing, and this is a bit of a brag situation. Find me for charity if you want, but occasions where I've won I won awards, maybe not quite right to say, but I was featured in like the Times as the lawyer of the week years ago. But that's not something that you can apply for. You can't pay to get in. It's not an advert. They just see your case and go, hey, that was a really good case that you were involved in, Stephen. Can we have a chat with you about it? And so all of a sudden it's like, hey, this is a thing that people kind of hopefully would go, hey, this guy was involved in being a lawyer of the week, blah, 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 big-headed on all that nonsense, right? But for most people, I think as a consumer, as an individual, they would see that not knowing about how some of those awards operate. They see that you're an award winner and go, oh, I'll attach some credence to that. I'll give that some kind of like some social proof behind it. But it's based upon a sham. And that for me was one of the key reasons when you said, I'm looking at doing something different, which I was like, yeah, I'm fully behind this. I really want to support it because I can't. I just couldn't think I will mislead anybody in saying I've won an award when it really wasn't on a genuine basis. And it's really important that these ones are. It's all completely genuine. As you say, when we're sitting down as judges, we're not going to have the names and the details. So it's not like we're going to say, hey, this guy's a friend of mine and I really like him and he should, or she should win this award because, well, I've known them for a while. It's not... and I think it's also important for people to realize it isn't a business. It's not the business community awards either. It's not, some internal, awards just because, we like each other and we see each other on a, couple of weeks basis.
Internal backslapping.
Like
it's worth saying it is open to everybody. And also with the judges, if they do happen to recognise an application for whatever reason, then the standard will be for the judge not to judge that particular application. And so we can be as clean as we possibly can. It's not geographically limited. It's not limited to any particular type of business. I'll share the categories just to give you an idea. There's 10 categories in total. That seemed like a nice round number. We've got sponsors for each category who will also judge that category if they are the sponsor for that category, and then we have 6 judges that are judging all of the things of which you are one, Stephen. So if you can read that, we're doing a business person, young business, small business, growth business, a business that can sort of demonstrate good teamwork, innovation, customer service, employer, technology, and a green business. So there's various criteria. So it's very clear from the application up front. Everybody's asked exactly the same questions. So, they're judged on a par. And then just to give people the option to supplement their application, there's a couple of I'm just looking at the chat. There's a couple of generic questions which just sort of say, is there anything you want to add to your application? So it gives people an opportunity to put something a little extra, and why should you win it versus anybody else? So there's some options there for you to embellish your application should you wish. So somebody's asking to be included in this podcast. I don't know who that is. Let me know who you are.
It doesn't say. It says on my screen. It says LinkedIn user, but for the quote below, if it's the same person, I have a feeling I know who it is, because I know that quote, the backslapping fan W stars.
Yeah. I didn't put that on the screen.
I think I know whose quote that is. But it doesn't come up with a name, so we'll see if it shows on LinkedIn. If not, I'm sure Paul or I can sort that out and go on.
Yeah, but the answer is yes. If you want to get in touch with either one of us, we can give you whatever you need to do that. So it's it's a bit of a punt, I guess, on one level. Hopefully, people will like it. If there is anybody listening to this now or listening to this on a replay, please do put your questions in whatever platform you're on, and we'll do our best to answer them now or answer them in the future if we see them appear on our timeline. So that's great. I'm just trying to think if there's probably something I've missed through orders on these things. Is there anything else that you can think of, Stephen, that we
for me, I think it's just I thought it was Mark Ford. That's what I said. That's the name I had in my mind, and he's confirmed it's Mark Ford. So that's all good. Yeah, one of us will give you the audio for it, or even pop onto your podcast, Mark. But for me, I think it's this. Actually, it's more beneficial for the award winner to have more people involved in the awards. So the more that submit applications, the more people and businesses that we've got to consider actually makes it even more valuable. So if we've got 10 people that have applied for the Small Business Awards, great, you won, but you won you were 1 out of 10, and that's great. You win an award and it's brilliant. But if we can get 500 people, 500 businesses applying for it, and you become you win that award, it's going to look really good. So I'm here to I want to encourage everybody that's in business. Like, doesn't really matter what kind of business you're in. There's a category that you'll fit into, to put in the application, nominate yourself, because there's a chance of winning. And the more the people that we get in, the better.
Yeah. Well, and again, what the intention is again, so it's not too broad or because again, I've been to award ceremonies where they've got 20 people in a category. And I know the reason they do that, because obviously it's one of these ones we have to go and get a table. Having 20 more tables or 20 more people thing is right. So what we will do is we will cap it down to 5 finalists. However, and to keep the anonymity, we won't let people know who the entrants and finalists are before the awards, but once that's done, we will actually include you. You'll get your little badge so that you can say you're an entrant. You'll get your little badge to say you're a finalist. You get your little badge to say that you're the winner. But you will be included going forward on the website for as hopefully we do this over the years. So there will be some acknowledgement of you, even if you didn't do it. And I think the important thing is, you will get feedback. So if you put in an application, you didn't get somewhere, the judges will actually give you some information about what you could do differently next time. So I think that can only be a good thing. So so that's basically it. So please do consider putting an application in. I'll put the website back on so you can see that. It's ethical-awards.co.uk. Again, you'll see who the judges are. You'll see who the sponsors are. So that's all in the public domain. So I remember years back there was an awards ceremony. I was interested in applying. I said, could you just tell me who the judges are? Not that I was thinking of sort of getting brown envelopes and sticking them under their door or anything. It was just to find out who the people were, because I think that's important, because given the skill sets of them, you might angle your application to appeal to a particular judge or a particular person. But they said, we don't disclose who the judges are. And I'm thinking, are there any judges then, really?
Yeah, are we judging some business awards with some admin that's some office junior that's come in for the week, and we just said sort through these, have a read through and see who you are. And I think that's the other thing that I really liked about what you've put together. The judges are all experienced business people, and that makes a difference. You've got people that have got collectively. If we include you, hundreds of years. But we've certainly got we've certainly got many years of experience in running businesses, being involved in businesses, advising businesses, and that kind of thing. And I think that again gives it that next level of integrity, because the people that are applying are being judged by people that have been there and done it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we will be doing these regularly. I'll hopefully get a number of sponsors on so you can get to meet them, and a number of judges on so you can get to meet them, see who they are, and obviously get their viewpoint. And as I said, if you're listening to any replays or watching it live, you're more than welcome to ask a question. Kevin said he was on yesterday. Well done, Stephen. Much more articulate than I was yesterday.
Yeah, and it's true. I watched his video, and that's true.
And as you can see, the sponsors and judges get on really, really well. Which is why we'll keep them all separate rather than stick them in one room when we eventually do the judging. And by the way, I'm not involved in the judging process. So again, there's no bias from my point of view. I'm just collating the stuff, redacting bits and pieces in the application so they are as genuinely blind as they can be. So there's no point in bribing me. I'm not involved. So there you go.
I think if there was one way of summing it up, Paul, you mentioned earlier on that it's like the Oscars. I think we should run with that. It's like the Oscars for the business world. That's the level that we're aiming for. Let's make this a real success. More people that can nominate and submit an application is going to be even better for everybody.
Yeah, and absolutely. And if you're listening, it's not you don't want to do it. There may be someone that's your customer or in your network that would be interested in it. So please do feel free to spread the link around. Okay, we'll call it time on that. Thanks for your time, Stephen.